She's a 10, she's a 2, a 9 part. She's an angel of light from above. She's poetry in motion. She's a rock in an ocean of love. So give us the Edna treatment. Oh, well, exclusive, make us fly.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dame Edna Everidge.
Welcome once again to my state-of-the-art celebrity care centre and spa. And if it isn't spring, it certainly feels like it to me. My sap is rising. My pheromones are moaning. Even my frock. It's a Kenneth Everidge original, isn't it beautiful? My puffball, it's gorgeous. And so now, isn't it? It's burst into bloom. And if I were gambling naked in a field, I might even feel like mating. But of course, that side of my organism perished with my husband, Norm. Did any of you know him at all? You would have adored him. Unfortunately, acts of immodesty that Norm committed in our modified Mooney Ponds bedroom are a thing of the past, but they have their consequences, and one of them is my dysfunctional daughter, Valmay. And now, by court order, my receptionist, look at her over there, dripping with Botox. There she is, thumbing through an old Wimbledon programme. Valmay, we are on the air. We're on the air, Valmay. Please. Hang on a minute. Surely you're not a fan of women's tennis, are you, Matt?
No, I like men's tennis, Dame Edna, and I've spent many a year cheering on Tim Henman, hoping he can get beyond a semi.
Oh. Matt Lucas, you speak in riddles.
I do.
Speak in riddles. But why did you try and trick me into thinking you were my dysfunctional daughter, Valmay? Oh. Why were you wearing her hair?
No, it wasn't my fault. David made me do it.
David? If David told you to jump off a cliff, put your hand in the fire, would you do that?
Yeah, I probably would, yeah.
Where is he, anyway? What's that activity in my guest pod? Open those doors, will you, Matt? Come on, Matt! Please! Matt, please, come here. It's champion swimmer, David Williams! Valmay, I'll have a word with you later. I hope my puffball isn't too revealing, boys. Oh, dear, welcome. And before we start, I have to tell you this. I never miss a Little Britain episode, I don't, because I'm a big fan of Tom Baker. I am a huge fan. I am, and you're lucky to have hitched your wagon to his star.
Certainly is.
Boys, you are loved by the nation and many other nations because I'm an Australian, as you know, and I saw your wonderful stage presentation in my hometown of Melbourne, and it was very, very enjoyable, the part that I saw.
Did you arrive late or leave early?
Well, I arrived late and I did leave a little bit early. I relied on someone to tell me about it, and it was beautiful. It was, and you are marvellous, and you could probably, by now, your institutions, you can hardly walk down the street without hearing catchphrases from your lovely show. What catchphrases do you mostly hear?
I get, I'm a lady.
I'm a lady.
Do you ever have that one?
No. I don't.
I think I don't like that character. I don't like when men dress up as women. For me, it's not...
It's
No.
yucky.
I don't know, there's something a bit...
uncalled for.
Yeah.
I think uncalled for is the word.
Yeah.
Something in their home, something has gone wrong a long way back. Do you get any of your catchphrases thrown at you?
People say, well, that one. That's what I get.
My favourite of yours is, am I bothered? I love it. I love it.
It's a good one. We won many awards for that one, yeah.
Say it for me.
Me? I'm a bothered though, am I? I'm a bothered. Face, bothered. Hand, face, bothered. Pretty good, isn't it?
No, it is. It's good, but it's funnier on television.
Yes.
I never get catchphrases thrown at me because I never walk down the street. That's probably the reason. But you're so successful. It must be very satisfying to find the little sketches that you've written summing up the zeitgeist of the nation, and then to do them every week. 3 seasons, 3. It must be lovely for a whole... Both of you have used your power for good. You've raised a fortune for comic relief. You have. Matt, #1, wasn't it? #1 with Peter Kay and the Proclaimers. And you helped hundreds of good causes, would have been delighted by that, wouldn't they? Particularly the Proclaimers.
You do a lot of charity work, don't you, Edna?
I do, Matt. I do a lot of charity work, but I don't shout it from the rooftops. Call me old-fashioned, but I don't.
Do you have your own charity,
I
Edna?
do a lot for my own charity, for prostate charities, I do. I organised that huge prostate rally in Hyde Park. Unfortunately, it had to be cancelled because, well, the cost of the additional toilet facilities it was, but you, David... Now, wait, look, I know it's been done on many, many interviews, but you swam the channel. That was wonderful.
Thank you.
You swam the channel. I wonder, did you have any help doing that? A jet ski, perhaps, under the water? A rope, a dolphin, a friendly dolphin, perhaps?
All I had was my favourite songs going around in my head, sort of ABBA, Pet Shop Boys, and I thought about women that I really liked as well.
Underwater, how lovely. And
Can I
nourishment.
say, you're a lot more attractive in real life than on the television. Thank you.
I'm picking up some lovely vibes from you, David.
But I
you
like
could
it.
swim my channel any time you want. How were you nourished? I mean, were you peckish while you were swimming away?
Yes, I had. So you stop and have a sort of like a Lucozade drink. And,
How do you do that? I mean...
Well, you sort of tread water, and then someone throws you a bottle with a bit of string on it, and you sort of tread water, drink it on your back, and then you give it back and you swim for another half hour, and then they give you another drink.
Incredible. Did you have jelly? I heard that you had... Because I brought a stick with some jelly on it here. They told me... No. I sauced that. I sauced it. And they told me they used to lean out and you'd have a nibble on that jelly.
It wasn't jelly, no, but...
Wasn't it jelly?
Are you going to make me
No,
eat
I'm not
that?
going to give it to you now.
No, OK.
Matt.
Oh, thank God she's finished with me for a while. Education is... I am really comparatively uneducated. I've had lots of honorary degrees, but I had a very simple education. You went to a lovely school, didn't you, Matthew?
I did, yeah.
Lucas?
It was called Haberdashers' Asks Boys' School.
Tell us about the famous people that went to your school.
Oh, yes.
Well, weirdly, I was at school with Sacha Baron Cohen, and he was about 3 years above me, and then about 3 or 4 years above him was David Baddiel. Now, do you need me to tell you who these people are?
Yes, I do.
Well, David Baddiel is a popular humorist, and he presents a show on this channel with Frank Skinner. No, not ringing any bells. And Sacha Baron Cohen is probably the biggest comedian in the world right now.
Good heavens.
Yeah, how about that? Yeah.
Well, obviously I have the wrong person on this show. I would have thought... I would have thought, my darling, darling Mr. Lucas, that you would have been the joker in the class. I think so. Were you bullied at that school?
No, not too badly, no.
Do you think you should have been?
Well,
Is that what you're suggesting?
you're unusual looking, I have to say. Children can be so cruel.
Yes, there weren't many people at my school with pink hair either, I have to say. But,
Pink isn't a colour I'd call it, frankly.
No,
but
sorry.
there it is. No.
What colour would you...
Let's go back to your bullying.
I was, no, I was all right, actually.
You was all
I was... Considering I was... You wouldn't think now to look at me, but I was an overweight child. And I had no hair. My hair fell out when I was 6. You know,
Gay?
Gay. Oh, don't forget the gay.
the gay.
Don't forget the gay. I had the gay, the old gay. And, Jewish, is that a problem?
No.
That's a
No,
plus.
I am possibly Jewish. Did you know that?
Possibly Jewish.
Yes.
How come?
You know, very soon after I was born, I could play canasta.
Right.
I could, without anyone teaching me.
Really? Oh, well, I think it's a certainty then, Dame Edna,
And
yeah.
I've got a talent, a lovely feeling to me. You'd sense it. My daughter Valmay was bullied.
Really?
That's why I sent her to school. Because, honestly, in the mornings I didn't have any more energy to bully her any longer. Off to school, David Williams, you're attractive. You are attractive, and the nice thing about you is that you know you're attractive. And women are drawn to you, and we all have different sides to us. We do. Are they drawn to your masculine side or your feminine side?
I think more my feminine side, because I like to do things like go shopping with friends of mine who are girls and go out to dinner and let them put makeup on me and that kind of thing. And girls like that.
Yes, they want a kind of lesbian relationship with you, don't they, really? And by the way, that's not a word I normally use. It leaves rather a nasty taste in my mouth. Now, Clarkson, I'm interrupting because I'm adoring my conversation with little David, and not so little Matt, but I sense that you at home are not. You're thinking, Edna, we've heard aspects of this several times before. It is you, Edna, that we're interested in. So you would be right, and this is going to be a first, David and Matt. A world first, but during the break, we're going to swap our chairs. And when we come back, Matt Lucas and David Williams will grill me to a crisp. I can't wait. See you in a minute.
Many welcomes back, possums. Here at Quite Wonderful Spa, Edna, British amusement men Matt Lucas and David Williams are about to probe gigastar Dame Edna Everage. They probed me once. I quite enjoyed it.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our idol,
Dame Edna Everage!
Enough of that off.
What a great honour it is. We've always wanted to meet you, so thank you for coming onto the show.
How have you kept your Australian accent, considering the amount of time you spend in Britain and America?
Well, I never listen to anybody else. Therefore, I don't really pick up other ways of speaking. What type of accent have you got, Matthew?
Sort of, suburban London accent, I think.
Oh, yes, it's lovely too. And you, Matthew?
It's David, actually.
David. I mean, David. I don't listen to people, do I?
Dame Edna, you're such a big star. How'd you keep it real?
Well, I'm a very real person. And every morning when I wake up, the second thing that I do is to look in the mirror and I say, Edna, you're real, and I stay real all day long. I do, and I think it's important for us to have a sense of reality. What about you with your lovely new success?
Oh, I still travel on the bus. I'm very...
It's your own bus?
It's my own bus. What about you? You're real.
Shopping?
I've always been down with the kids. And so, yeah, I'm pretty real. I'm
You keep it real,
I'm
yeah?
almost ghetto. I'm so real. I'm from the ghettos of Surrey.
Well, I want to know. We saw you in Ally McBeal. Have you got any plans to do any more cameos? Maybe Ugly Betty, for instance?
Well, no. They're doing a new series, and Belle May is in it, as a matter of fact.
Oh, really?
It's called Uglier Betty. No, I'm not. I'm not happy saying that. I don't like myself for saying that. And yet it's true.
Do you ever use the facilities here at the spa? And which facilities do you use?
Yes. I use the toilets here. And they're lovely. You could eat off the floor. They're spotless.
Dame Edna, aren't you at the age now where you seriously ought to be considering plastic surgery?
For goodness sake, don't make stupid noises. I have considered it and I have rejected it, quite frankly, Matthew. I don't need it. I believe in aging gracefully. I've got a few little crow's feet. But you know what my mother used to call them? She said they're not crow's feet. They're the dried-up beds of old smiles. Oh. Isn't that lovely?
Oh. Do you know what I was told when I was little? That when it was thunder, don't cry. It's just the angels moving their furniture. Oh. Isn't that sweet?
It is lovely.
Yeah.
If this wasn't a TV show, we could go on in this vein forever. If we weren't looking for big laughs. David Walliams.
I just don't know if you're going to pause for breath and I can ask a question. OK. Now that your husband, Norm, has sadly passed on,
yes,
do you long for a man's touch?
Well, I just have to travel by tube and I get plenty of...
I've got a question to ask you, Dame Edna. All right, this is a bit of a tricky subject, but I know people have suggested that your son Kenny has gay tendencies, and I wonder if you think there's any truth in that.
Oh, dear me. A few years ago, this is not a question anyone would dream of asking a lovely woman on television about their family. I am confident that my son is as normal as you are, Dad. And I'll tell you this.
Thank you very much.
He is looking for Miss Right.
Right.
Now, he looks in some rather peculiar places, but he's not in a hurry, and tongues wag. It's destructive, the way people talk about other people's personal area, the private part of their lives. Now, I think wedding bells could toll one day. I hope they do. You have recently got married, and I think that's lovely.
Oh, thank you very much.
I'd love to meet her.
It's not a her.
It's not?
No. I got married to I had a civil partnership with my partner.
Oh, lovely. How lovely. I think I'm going to have a cerebral hemorrhage now.
So you think it's wonderful for me?
If it makes a person I adore happy, then I think it is wonderful, my
Thank
darling.
you. Thank you.
I do. Oh, dear me. Thank you, Matthew and David. That was a very interesting experiment, which will sort of boil down into a beautiful segment, but which can be optional on the DVD. But now, if you wouldn't mind, I'll come back to my seat. You get out of there. We'll just cross over here for a moment.
Thank you very much.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
Very good. Very good to get on with the show. Fine. I think that went rather well, don't you? My next guest is extremely unpopular. Nobody seems to like him except a rather attractive woman on the staff of the Daily Telegraph who is 15 years his junior. Please welcome newspaper bad boy, Piers Morgan. This is David Walliams.
Thank you.
Oh, we've been having having such fun here, Piers.
They like me, don't you?
Hi, how are you?
Very firm-handed guy.
Piers, before we resonate with each other, I need you to just sign this confidentiality agreement.
No chance.
The reason for this is that when we chat, there'll be little snippets of information, intimate. We've been talking very, very intimately here.
I've been listening. It's been engrossing.
Years we've revealed things about each other and ourselves we never thought we would, but we've done it tastefully. On the whole. So if you just sign...
Of course.
...and initial on all those pages. This could take you 10 minutes. Okay. But I wouldn't want the world to know everything that I've been saying.
Sign every page, yeah?
Yes, will you see those little things?
These are the deeds to your house, are they?
How did you guess? No, Piers, thank you very much.
A pleasure.
I just don't want these details appearing in one of your publications.
Of course,
and also,
of course.
darling, I think a tie. Do you mind wearing a tie? I think that little Hugh Grant look doesn't really suit a man of your age. There we are. Just pop
Thank
that
you
round.
very... I will. Thank you very
Now,
much.
I've watched your long career.
Thank you.
The trouble is, I'm still not quite sure of who you are or what you do. Now, I've perused a lot of your publications, and it seems to me that, well, you're probably in the dark as much as I am. Your new book is called Who Am I?
No, it's called Don't You Know Who I Am.
Don't you know
Yeah.
who I am?
Well, the reason is people keep mistaking me for gardeners. It happens all the time. I thought it was Alan Titchmarsh, but apparently I look like Dermot Gavin. Does anyone else think that? I mean, I don't see it, but it's happened 4 times now.
I wish I knew who Dermot Gavin was.
I wish I knew who he was, but that's my problem. People think I'm a gardener.
That's the least of your problems. As a tabloid man, you had that experience...
Former. I'm a reformed character.
Did you ever rummage in someone's dustbin?
I'd love to rummage in your dustbin, Edna.
No, but... Perhaps when you were working at the News of the World.
Ah, yes. No, I
You
never
might have
personally...
delved a little bit.
No, I used to order other people to do that.
Val May was trapped, as a matter of fact, in a wheelie bin the other day. She was reaching for a half-eaten Happy Meal. Now, you've made a few mistakes in your life and your career. Who hasn't? But you once wrote a story that George Michael had a love child in Frankfurt.
Yes.
How old would that kiddie be now?
With the benefit of hindsight, obviously that lacked a certain credibility. I agree.
It did, but it was a little amusing thing in the paper at the time. Truth isn't necessary, really, is it, in journalism? I mean, it's an ingredient.
It's just,
a mere ingredient.
It's an important ingredient. If you can get to the truth, it's quite nice. But you know what these celebrities are like in the day? They're such lying little toe rags that who can we believe, you know? We're poor journalists, I mean.
Since you left the Mirror, you edited, well, First News. Have you heard of that paper? First News. It's a paper, and it's a brilliant idea, aimed at kiddies.
It is.
Isn't it? Between 9 and 12. After the Mirror, what made you go for the higher demographic? No answer to that. I've got your little book here. You said something about a person called Winton. Have you heard of...
Ah, yes, Dale Winton.
Winton?
Oh, what did you say about Dale Winton?
I love Dale. I love Dale.
Dale Winton. Some incident. He said, with that, Mr. Winton bent down, grabbed me forcibly by the shoulders, and began to snog me. Now,
He did.
is that a confession of some kind from you?
I mean, you know, you're never too late, are you? Guys? I mean,
know.
I don't know, but it was an uncomfortable moment for both of us, I think.
Why did it happen?
We got to buy the book to find out.
Oh, that's not going to happen.
Well, I can lend you my copy. This book is better than the last because it's ideal for pressing flowers. Look at that gladdy I pressed here. Isn't that nice?
Oh, that was nice.
It's beautiful. Your previous book was a little bit too heavy. It crushed them. Now, who ever thought that Piers Morgan's career could produce something beautiful? But I'm a wicked tease. We've got to take a break, but I'll see you after these important messages. I'm sitting here and wooing me and the nation is Piers Morgan and Matt and David from the Tom Baker Show. Has Piers ever interviewed you boys?
No, he's asked, but we very wisely said no.
They're playing hard to get.
I'm petrified because, as I said to David, no good can come of it. Because, well, I don't know, because he's too good. He'll grill us, he'll get us admitting to terrible things.
What would you ask us?
I would try and cause artistic differences as to who was the funniest. And I know who I think is the funniest, for example. And if I was to say that, it could cause a bit of... it could just cause a bit of tension, couldn't it? And then you might get a real interview.
Luckily, we're both funnier than you.
That's true, yeah.
You inspire strong reactions, as I do.
I quite like that.
What? As a tabloid journalist, and I use the word rather loosely, yes, you've wined and dined the Prime Minister and his wife several times, or you've been to Downing Street.
It was a long time ago.
Yes, what did she cook for you? What did Sherry cook?
It was very surreal. She didn't cook. She just sat there drinking water, explaining why she hated me so much. Which was a very uncomfortable few hours.
Very, if you visit someone and they talk to you like that, horrible.
Exactly,
really.
you don't really need that, do you?
She's been here. She was one of my first patients, as a matter of fact, lying on the floor begging for mouth reduction. She was... But... She was. It's dreadful. You've been at the receiving end, haven't you, of Sherry's mouth?
Yes.
And...
Which, as you can imagine, is pretty unpleasant.
It was very unpleasant.
In fact, the last time I saw her was at a dinner, and she came up to me, and someone said, "Have you met Piers Morgan?" And her face sort of crushed, like I just injected her with leprosy or something. And she said, "Yes," she said, "Piers, even the world's greatest sinner is forgiven in the eyes of the Lord." And with that, she walked off. And that was the last time I saw her.
How strange. I didn't know she had a religious side, Piers.
No, it's a very curious incident.
It is very curious. Is it in this lovely book?
It is in that lovely book.
Goodness, I must have read it then. Now, you had a crush on the Prime Minister, didn't you? I've seen that in your show.
Yes.
When you're Sebastian.
Yes, well, I mean, for the first time, we had a sort of dishy Prime Minister in Tony Blair. So we wrote a sketch about a guy, an assistant, could be an Alistair Campbell or Peter Mandelson type figure, who has a crush on the Prime Minister. And we got to meet the Prime Minister in real life, actually, as well.
Yeah, and you flirted with him.
I did. He's a good-looking man.
Is he? A serious question to end our little discussion for the moment. When historians look back on your career and they write that Ladybird book on Piers Morgan, what will they say is your most significant contribution to Western culture?
I don't think I've ever made any really significant inroads into Western culture. I can't claim to do that.
Well, you probably don't know it, and we may never know it, but I could go on chatting to Piers for minutes. Sadly, time waits for no man, and our old enemy on the wall is no exception. Possums, my next outpatient, if I may call her that, has been described as the greatest pop icon of all time. Obviously, no one asked my opinion, but fresh from the Donatella Versace Botox unit in this spa, I'd like you to meet the glorious Deborah Harry! Debbie, sit down. Or Deborah. I prefer to call you Deborah. You're lovely.
Oh, I'm so happy to be here. Now it's official.
You look divine.
Thank you.
When did we last meet, Deborah?
How can you forget? I mean, can you forget?
Well, I
No, you
think it
haven't
was
forgotten.
in my dressing room.
I know. It was that wonderful time in San Francisco.
You came to my show.
I came to your show. It was. You won me over.
Did I?
I was smitten. Yes.
You
Yeah.
had a lovely time.
I did. I had a really wonderful
Was it
time.
one of the best shows you've ever seen in your life?
It was one of the best shows I've ever seen, and also one of the most original. And I'd never seen a show before that had a barbecue in it.
Yes, I used to get the people to come onto the stage, Piers, and I cooked them a lovely Australian barbecue. The theatre was filled with the smell of combusting chops and sausages. Thank you for those words of praise, which I had to pretty well squeeze out of you then, Debbie. But it makes what I'm about to say to you all the more difficult. You are the most famous, well, artificial blonde. You don't mind me saying that, do you?
Well,
Is it your... No, is it your natural colour?
no,
It's
it's
not.
not.
I happen to know that because
No.
a friend of mine saw you doing nude cartwheels at a party once. I'm afraid. So, you say somewhere that you're not happy about your hair in the mornings. Is that so?
I don't usually look. I try not to look in the morning.
Well...
Do you? I mean...
I don't really, but have you got pets? You've got a dog, haven't you?
I do have a dog, and the dog used to sleep on my head, which was a little difficult. But she's grown out of that now.
David, have you ever woken up with a dog on your face? You've got to be... You have to be careful. You don't kiss it, do you?
No,
Don't.
actually,
You
I
mustn't. You don't let its warm little tongue flicker between your lips.
don't. They try.
Dogs.
They try, but I go like this.
Because you know this, Matt, don't you? Dogs don't have human feelings. They don't, Piers. I mean, they think one end of you is much the same as another. They do, and they're not looking lovingly at you thinking, I must kiss that pretty little mouth. They're wondering why your cheeks are big and round and hairy. That's what they're wondering. Think about it. Now, incidentally, are you pierced?
Yes.
You are pierced?
I'm pierced.
Where?
Just here on the ears.
Tummy?
No tummy.
My daughter has a ring in her navel,
Does she?
so that if she breaks down, it's easier to tow her away. You worked for Hugh Hefner at some stage?
I did. A brief brief moment.
And did you ever play bunnies and burrows up there at the Playboy Mansion?
Well, no, I was a bunny in New York, and I never met Hef. And, I sort of hopped around the club for a while, and I worked there, and it was very nice. And then I sort of went on into the music business. And then years later, I was invited to the mansion, but I was no longer a bunny. So I didn't have to do the,
No.
I didn't do that.
No. But you play a lesbian strip club owner in a film called The Fluffer. No.
Is that true?
What's a fluffer? What is a fluffer? Is it a cleaning device of some kind?
No, it's a person who's very, very important to the ongoing action in the sex scenes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt like playing nurses and nurses with anybody?
I have played that, and I do like it. I like it very much.
I think we should stop this conversation in its tracks right now, because Valmay is giving you a very strange look after that revelation, and I don't want to repeat what happened to Sigourney Weaver the other day. It was very, very embarrassing. Possums, it's time for an essential comfort stop. Join me after this break when there will be another, and I hope final, little health message from Sir Les Patterson with the handsome David Ginola. Welcome back, and I have been cherishing my chats tonight with Matt Lucas, David Walliams, and Piers Morgan, and the foxy, adorable little Deborah Harry. Now, it pains me now to introduce our next segment, Health and Lifestyle Around the World, with the totally unnecessary Sir Leslie Patterson.
Tonight I'm wearing my medical hat and I'm getting rather serious in accordance with the sober new guidelines laid down by Dame Edna. And I'm going into a very delicate area for gentlemen now, how to examine the prostate gland. A Cinderella organ if ever there was one. It needs a light touch and it helps if you're double jointed. And giving me a helping hand is a Gaelic football star, and it was always going to take something pretty special to bring him back to British television. It's the very handsome David Granola. David Granola?
No, David Ginola.
David Ginola. My apologies,
almost.
Dave.
That's fine, sir. That's fine.
Comment allez-vous, n'est-ce pas?
Je vais très bien, sir. Je suis très, très heureux d'être ici, dans ce centre magnifique. Et de revenir à Londres, c'est toujours un grand plaisir pour moi, véritablement.
No worries. You know where your prostate is, Dave?
Somewhere,
Well, you're in the general vicinity. In technical medical terms, it's in the turd tunnel. Hey, Kim, darling, come over with that tray. This is Kim, my research assistant. This is Dave.
Research.
Now, the prostate. You see, it may only be the size of a nut, or noix.
Une petite noisette.
Petite noisette. But it has the texture of a sponge, and one of its most important jobs is to help in the creation of your vital fluids. Am I right, Kimmy? No worries. Cop a feel of that. You see? Now, that's what a healthy prostate should feel like. Now, if it feels like that, it's not up to scratch, eh? And you don't want to end up with 3 nuts. Right now, to help me show you and the wider viewing public how to inspect the prostate, you've got to have a willing partner, or what I call a prostate mate. Now, we've got this rather lifelike dummy here. There we are. It's a prostate examination simulator, and this is how it works. This is a difficult procedure. Dave, I'd recommend a surgical glove. I'd also suggest a bit of the basso, or if you haven't got any of this, you could raid the fridge, anything will do, a bit of cottage cheese, minestrone, anything of that kind. Now, up we go into the unknown. There we are. And what we're feeling for now is that little bastard through the wall of the old rectum. Check if it feels hard or knobbly. If it does, don't panic. It could be something, you know, that's been left up there on another occasion. Also, it's worth seeking further medical advice. Now, all clear and withdraw. All right, David, you're ready to give it a go.
Well, une fois penny, une fois pan, I guess.
No worries. No, that's not your model. No, Dave, your model's over here. Get stuck in.
Ne fais pas personne, je suis désolé, je peux pas ça.
Would you rather roll up your sleeve?
Je suis désolé, je dois partir.
That's enough! That is quite enough, Les. Oh, I'm sorry, Possums. Only a fool would think that they can examine their intimate plumbing on their own. Please, darlings, don't take important medical matters into your own hands, please. Now, if you have any concerns, by the way, seek professional medical advice. Now, on to more tasteful and savoury matters now. I feel a duet coming on.